Sorry I'm a little bit late, but I didn't have Wi-Fi in the parking lot at the dentist, so I'm at my sister-in-law's, and you have to see these lovely molasses cookies because it will come into play later. These are our husband's grandma's famous molasses cookies. Hey Cindy, welcome. All right, I'm gonna walk over here and it won't be very interesting for a minute. So anyway, what do molasses cookies waiting for writing have in common? That's what we're gonna talk about. Jesus is not the answer. Hubby is here too. But welcome. I'm Katie M. Reed from katiemreed.com. Love to give you some of those molasses cookies. Don't they look good? You know, I used to not be a molasses fan. Hey Mandy, welcome. I just wanted to be, you know, chocolate chips are good. But Adam's grandma makes these delicious molasses cookies, and she has taught us the recipe, us girls, and let me tell you, it has taken a lot of practice. And she's, how old is she? 80, late 80s, maybe? We don't, 88 maybe? We're not sure. But anyway, she has had years of practicing making these molasses cookies and potato buns. And so I still need more practice. You know, some times it goes well, other times it doesn't. Hello, welcome. Let me know what your real name is, Help Mama Remote, because I don't want to call you Help Mama. That sounds weird. But anyways, so it takes time to master. Hey, Nicole, welcome. So it takes time to master recipes sometimes, doesn't it? When we were waiting for our adoption, it took a long time. And I think I've told you before, the verse God gave us was Galatians 6:9. Do not grow weary, for in due time you'll reap a harvest if you don't give up. Well, that also applies to writing. And this is the Friday edition of We Write. Glad you are here. I want to encourage you guys in your writing not to give up. I had, let's see, I think it was April of 2014, I submitted a memoir piece for a contest. And most of you know my brother has Down syndrome, and so I wrote about experience. Yes, don't give up, Cindy, that is right. I wrote about an experience where he worked at the Golden Arches, and anyway, it's called Extra Salt on the Fries. So I really liked this piece I wrote, but I didn't hear anything back for a really long time. And I mean, months and months and months, and way past when I thought I would hear. And so I kind of assumed, you know, this isn't going to happen. So I actually submitted this piece to Newsweek. Just one second. Hey, boys, yeah, keep it down a little bit. They're playing Battleship, and I'm interrupting right in the middle of everything doing my Periscope. So anyways, so I'm like, you know what, I haven't heard back. I don't think I made it through this contest. So I submitted the same piece to Newsweek. Well, guess what? Haven't heard from Newsweek. Surprise, surprise, right? So then, like a week after that, I heard from the contest that I made it through to the second round. And other people had too. Anyway, so I'm going to be published in this book. It's called Tales of Our Lives. It releases on Amazon on January 8th, and it's only 99 cents if you purchase it within the first 48 hours. So I hope you guys will all get a copy of that, and you can read. It's called Extra Salt on the Fries is my entry there. Thank you so much. It was really exciting, but all this to tell you, don't give up, because I could have, you know, just figured I'm not going to hear from them and then submitted it somewhere else. Well, I kind of did that, right? And you just never know. The writing process, the publishing process can take a long time. I had another instance where I had submitted, I want to give up like every 30 days. You know, before I was pregnant, that made sense. Now I'm not sure why I want to give up every 30 days. But Mandy, don't give up. Stick with it. You'll reap a harvest in due time. It might not always look like you want it to look. I didn't think that my first published piece would be about, you know, the Golden Arches, but who knows, right? But hang in there, you know, just like you got to perfect the molasses cookies recipe, just like I'm so glad we didn't give up when we were waiting for adoption, because it happened just at that moment when we could barely hang on anymore. And same with writing, you just never know. Now, if you haven't heard someone for a really long time, it is good to follow up, because here's an example. I had submitted a piece to a website, and I felt pretty good about the piece, but I never heard back. And so I let a lot of time go by, but I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to follow up. And guess what? They had like not received it, or it had gotten sent into the wrong folder, spam or something like that, and they apologized profusely, ended up letting me do a guest post, and then I ended up having a great relationship with the people at that website. So sometimes that can happen. How long is long? Oh, that's a good question. You know, for the guest post situation, they said I think they get back within like 8 weeks. I probably let like 4 months go by, maybe double the length. I'm waiting for some publishers right now and an agent, and I have followed up with one of them, but it's hard because you don't want to be annoying. But at the same time, I think, just pray about it, Mandy. I think God will prick your spirit. You also don't want to be a person that's like every couple days, because it is a long process. And, people, agents and publishers, they are swamped. And it's not that they're trying to be insensitive, but they have so much on their plate. But I did ask another agent, I said, when should I haven't heard. It's about the time I should hear. Should I follow up? Because I hadn't also heard if they had received my stuff, and I want to make sure it's not floating out there in cyberspace. And she said, absolutely follow up. That's not annoying. It can actually be helpful to the agent just to keep, your name in their mind and that kind of thing. But you also want to respect that they're busy and that they need space too. So all that to say, don't give up. There's one place I had submitted and never heard back. And I was going to publish it elsewhere, submit it elsewhere, put it on my blog, but I followed up with them first because I felt like that was the honorable thing to do. And I just said, hey, I'm assuming you probably aren't going to use my stuff, but I just wanted to check because I had written it, with your site in mind, but I want to check before I submit it elsewhere. So I think, you need to do that if you're going to kind of retract maybe what you sent. And sometimes, again, people can be like, oh my goodness, or I didn't get that. That happened to a friend of mine. She submitted something for a contest, never heard back. Well, she followed up and they said, oh yeah, we hadn't gotten it. So she got to resubmit it and she didn't make it through, but they gave her some great feedback. So I want to encourage you today for this edition of We Write, do not give up. Be patient with the publishing world. Sometimes it takes a long time, but also don't be afraid to follow up. So I hope that's helpful to you. And communication is key, but also I'm realizing, just like when we were waiting for adoption, this whole publishing world, it takes more patience than you think you have. I'm kind of in limbo right now, waiting to hear back from people. And, your thought life can be crazy, like, oh, everyone hates it. I'm never going to get published. I should never do this. This was a dumb idea. And, that's not a good attitude either. You just don't know what's going on. And I just want to keep being prayerful. And, you never know when they're maybe looking at your blog or, when your proposal is going to come up. So, are any of you waiting to hear? Let me know. And, so are any of you waiting to hear back from any publishers or agents or that kind of thing? It can be very vulnerable, but hang in there. Don't give up. Galatians 6:9. Go check it out in a couple different versions. Oh, 2 proposals out, Mandy. That's exciting though. Oh, I hope it just lands in the right hands. And I had another author tell me too, she's like, why didn't you just write it, and self-publish it? Because sometimes God wants the message out more than he wants you, to go a certain route. So I'm pondering that. But anyway, great to talk with you today. Thanks for joining me. I'm Katie M. Reed from katiemreed.com. And this is the Friday edition of We Write. I'll be back here on Monday at 1:30 for the Monday message. Hubby is off hunting. He's hoping to get a deer. Or 3 this weekend. So, hey, Lauren, welcome. Are any of your significant others or fathers or brothers hunting this weekend? It's a pretty huge deal in our side of the family. Hence, my sister-in-law making the molasses cookies. She is feeding the hunters because she is nice like that. So, I will talk to you later. That's okay, Lauren. You can catch the replay. I will talk to you guys later.